It hits -71, and people still call it home. This is Oymyakon, a village of about 500 people in northeast Siberia, and it is the coldest permanently inhabited place on Earth. The monument in its square marks -71.2 degrees Celsius. The coldest reading ever verified by an instrument here was -67.7. Either number is colder than anywhere else people actually live. Only the empty research stations of Antarctica have ever measured lower. Now here is the part that breaks your intuition. Oymyakon is not in the Arctic. It sits below the Arctic Circle, and it is colder than towns hundreds of miles nearer the North Pole. The reason is not the latitude, and it is not luck. In the next few minutes, we map exactly why one Siberian valley freezes harder than the pole itself. Every place on this channel is empty for a reason, and Oymyakon is cold for 4 of them stacked on top of each other. It is trapped in the dead center of the largest landmass on the planet, far from any ocean that could soften a winter. Its skies stay clear and bone dry for months, letting a whole season of stored heat escape into space. And it sits at the bottom of a mountain valley that fills every night with the heaviest, coldest air in the hemisphere. Start with the number everyone argues about. Start where the legend starts, the monument in the town square. It reads -71.2 degrees Celsius, and that figure is the reason Oymyakon is famous. But you should know exactly what it is. That number comes from 1924, when the geologist Sergei Obrachev estimated it while passing through. It was never logged by a permanent weather instrument, and no meteorologist has been able to confirm it since. So treat -71 as the claim on the sign, not the measurement in the record. The measurement in the record is still staggering. In February 1933, the Oymyakon station logged -67.7 degrees Celsius, and that reading is real, verified, and archived by the Russian Weather Service. -67.7 is close to -90 in Fahrenheit. At that temperature, a cup of boiling water thrown into the air freezes before it lands, and your breath falls as a faint hiss of ice crystals the locals call the whisper of the stars. Oymyakon shares its pole of cold title with a nearby town, Verkhoyansk, which touched almost the same low back in the 1890s. Between them, they hold every record for cold in an inhabited place. And both sit in the same Russian Republic, Sakha, a region the size of India with fewer than 1 million people in it. Here is the fact that should not make sense. Oymyakon sits at about 63 degrees north, below the Arctic Circle. Murmansk, a Russian city of nearly 300,000 people, sits at 69 degrees north, well above it, far closer to the pole. Yet Murmansk almost never drops past -40, while Oymyakon routinely doubles that. Latitude is not what makes cold. 3 things do. First, distance from the sea. Murmansk sits on the coast, warmed by the tail end of the Gulf Stream. And even a freezing ocean releases its stored heat slowly, like a giant radiator. Oymyakon is buried in the middle of a continent, more than 1,500 miles from open water, so nothing moderates it. Second, the winter sky. A monster high-pressure system, the Siberian High, parks over the region for months and wrings the air dry. Clear, cloudless, dry skies are terrible at holding heat. All the warmth the ground gathered in summer radiates straight out into black space, night after night, with nothing to trap it. Third, and this is the finisher, Oymyakon sits in a valley about 750 meters up, ringed by mountains. Cold air is heavy. Every night it drains down the slopes and pools on the valley floor, where it has nowhere to escape. The town is sitting at the bottom of a bowl that keeps filling with the coldest air in the northern hemisphere. And the same dry, exposed sky runs the other way in summer. So this one valley swings from about +30 in July to -50 in January, a range of 80 degrees in a single year. So what does life at -50 actually require? Start with your car. You do not turn the engine off. Drivers leave motors running for the entire winter, day and night, because diesel turns to jelly and a stopped engine may never restart. The few who do park use a garage kept as warm as a hospital ward. Glass, rubber, and steel all turn brittle. Metal can snap. If you touch it with a bare hand, your skin freezes to it instantly. There is almost no running water. The ground is permanently frozen hundreds of meters down, so pipes cannot be buried, and most homes rely on wells, delivered ice, or an outhouse in the yard. Phones and cameras die in minutes. Eyelashes freeze together. Exposed skin can frostbite in under a minute. Food is whatever survives the cold, which mostly means meat and fish. Vegetables barely grow in a summer that short, so the traditional diet leans on reindeer, horse meat, and frozen raw fish shaved into curls and eaten like chips. And then the school. The one government rule that captures the whole place is this: classes for the youngest children are only canceled once the temperature falls below -52. Above -52, the children still walk to school. Now, the problem almost nobody thinks about until it happens. What do you do when someone dies? In most of the world, you dig a grave. In Oymyakon, you cannot. The ground is permafrost, frozen as hard as concrete, and it does not soften for a shovel or a pick. So burying the dead becomes a slow battle against the earth itself. The tradition is fire. Families light a bonfire over the burial spot and let it burn for hours to thaw the top layer of soil. Then they rake away the coals, dig down as far as the heat reached, and light another fire. And then another. It can take 2 or 3 days of continuous burning to open a single grave deep enough. Every hole in the ground here is that same fight. Fuel lines, foundations, water pipes, even the outdoor toilets have to be driven through rock-hard ice. The permafrost is why the houses stand on stilts, why nothing important is buried, and why a task the rest of us take for granted, putting someone to rest, turns into days of tending flames in -50 air. The land does not want to be disturbed, and it makes you earn every inch. So why does anyone stay? Oymyakon was never really meant to be a town. Its name comes from a word for unfrozen water, because of a thermal spring nearby that never ices over. And for centuries, this was simply a place where nomads stopped to water their herds. The people here are mostly Even and Saka, herders who have worked this land for generations and know how to read a cold that would kill an outsider. And they are not alone. The Yakutian horse, a stocky, shaggy breed found almost nowhere else, lives outside all winter long. It grows a dense double coat, stores fat through the short summer, and paws through the snow to reach frozen grass at -60 with no shelter at all. Reindeer do the same. An entire way of life, human and animal, has been shaped to fit a place that should be uninhabitable. People stay because it is home, because the herds are here, because their families have always been here. The cold is not an emergency to them. It is just the weather. And that, more than any record on a monument, is what makes Oymyakon extraordinary. Not that it reached -67. That people looked at -67 and decided to stay. So put it together. Oymyakon is not the coldest spot on the planet. Antarctica owns that, at close to -90. But Antarctica is a continent of research stations and penguins. Oymyakon is a village with a school, a shop, and a graveyard that takes 3 days to dig. It is the coldest place on Earth where people have chosen to build an ordinary life. And the thing that makes it that cold was never the thing you would guess. It is not that it sits near the pole, because it does not. It is a location in the dead center of a continent, a dry sky that lets a whole winter of heat bleed into space, and a mountain bowl that traps the heaviest air in the hemisphere. Stack those three together, and you get -67 in a place people call home. The monument says -71. The record book says -67.7. The people say, simply, that it is Tuesday, and the car is already running. That is what No One Lives Here is really about. The places that should be empty, and the stubborn, remarkable reasons they are not. If a valley below the Arctic Circle can out-freeze the pole, then geography clearly does not care about the lines we draw on our maps. Next time we cross the planet to one of the strangest population maps anywhere. Why 90% of Canadians live below one invisible line, crowded against a single border. Subscribe to No One Lives Here so the next map finds you.